What's up, guys? My name is Will, and I will be your guide through the insane workings of my mind. Not really, but whatever. Basically what this is the Zombie Scale Shop is going to be a place where I can go ahead and divulge some information for you guys. I have been working with models now for quite a long time. I was really big into it when I was a kid. You know, it tapers off in your 20s, and so now that I'm in my 30s, it's picking back up. So I have more time to work on my models. You know, it's a way for me to express my imagination, I guess you could say. I do a lot of computer work. I'm also a mechanic, so you know, I've got a lot of experience in a lot of different little fields, graphic design, you know, stuff like that. As far as some of the content that I'm going to be putting on the channel, I'm going to be talking about silicone and resin, you know, making your own resin pieces. And I'm also going to be, you know, just going over the little tips and tricks that I know, some of the things that I've used to complete some of my models. We'll start off right now with an update. Some of you guys have been asking about Miss Piggy, and last I said I was working on the 50 cal. The thing about this 50 cal is, there it is that this is actually a resin piece that I had made, and I went ahead and I bought the Willys Jeep, and $40 for 3 guns. It was not something that I enjoyed doing, but I needed the guns, and instead of spending $40 every time I need a gun, I went ahead and I made silicone molds of this thing. I got the 50 cal, the Thompson submachine gun, and the M1 Garand out of that kit. You can see that the silicone will pick it up, the resin will get it. You know, here's a little tip. If you look, I kind of got it to look like cast iron metal. The way I did that was when the paint was drying, I went ahead and I stippled it and roughed it up a little bit, let it fully dry, and then you go back over and you dry brush it. And that is how you kind of get it to get that cast iron look to it, you know. So the 50 cal came out pretty good. The Thompsons came out pretty good. What I went ahead and did is I cut the stock off the Thompson. There's the Thompson machine gun. I created the cradle. That's the black thing you see that needs to be touched up. But I created a cradle because 2 of them are going to sit side by side on a rail system, like so that they can slide back and forth inside the model. So that's pretty much how they're going to look when it's all done up. As for the model itself, what I used was a 77 Chevy van. Went ahead and made the zombie killing ice cream truck. So that's what it looks like. All the decals I designed on the computer. I used Evans Designs decal paper to print them out on. Some pretty cool paper. The only thing is you can't use microsol. You got to use lighter fluid to set it in, so don't be smoking around my model. It will burst into flames. There's that. It's the XLP1, aka Miss Piggy. Let's see if we can get all those little decals in there. It's got the feeding trough, which opens and closes. The idea behind the model is that, you know, they're going to bring in a dead zombie. They're going to use the Flesh Peeler 2000, which I still have to build. It's basically just a garage door opener that's been repurposed. It'll have a bar and some chains on it with some hooks, and you turn it on and it rips the flesh right off the zombie, and then they go ahead and they throw it into this. The reason why it's called Miss Piggy is because, you know, zombies ain't going to eat dead flesh, so they douse it with warm pig's blood. And I'm going to run a heat pipe, like a heat exchange, up from the exhaust into it's going to heat up the tank of pig's blood that's going to be inside there when I get all that done. I did get the engine is all detailed out. We got the plug wires in there. Dirtied it all up, made it look like it had been rebuilt a couple of times. The chassis is all done. And I'm probably going to run the heat exchange right up through here. You know, just put a pipe on there that gets hot as the engine's running, just to kind of warm up that pig's blood. Then we're going to throw the pooper scooper on there. and the grinder, and that'll go on the front. Come on now, sit right, thank you. It's basically gonna be like a snow plow that comes off. It'll be open at the bottom, so anything that it runs into will be forced underneath the van. And then there's going to be a grinder right here, a shaft that comes out with a gear, and then there'll be a chain that goes down to the hub of the tire. So as the vehicle's running forward, that shaft will spin, and anything that gets caught in is going to get chewed up and shot out the back of it. Hence the name Pooper Scooper. So that is where I'm at on it. Still got some work to do up here on the mesh. Gotta paint that all up. We got this side pretty much is done. I like the way it came out. So that's where we're at on the old Miss Piggy. It was a fun model to build and an interesting idea that I came up with. I will be writing. I actually have a story treatment for it. Something else that I do as a hobby is I write. I've got 2 published books out right now. First one, the Chronicles of Heaven. It's on Amazon. And the second one I wrote with my wife. Co-wrote it with her. It's Monster Dreams, The Liar's Tongue. It's a children's book. It's like a kid's first chapter book. So it's kind of short and it's really fast. It's a full-on action adventure. It's also on Amazon if you guys want to check that stuff out. But yeah, this is part of Project Crying Cannibal. The idea behind Project Cannibal is that the the military came up with you know, the zombie virus, and they were worried that if it broke out in the nation, what they would have to do. Well, the military can't come in and fight all the zombies in every little community. So FEMA came up with the idea of Project Crying Cannibal, which was to use local machines repurposed, armored up, and using every little local community has a military museum, you know. So using stuff that's in the community to combat the zombie apocalypse that could arise. The XLP-1 was that idea, you know, in the story that I came up with. So that is where we're at on that. If there's anything you would like to see me go over, I mean, shoot me a question. I don't care what the question is. Whether it has to deal with computers. I mean, I build computer systems. Whether it's fixing your car, I can, you know, definitely help you with that. I've been a mechanic for 15 years. So, you know, model building, anything. Shoot me a question. If I don't know the answer, I guarantee you I'll give you an answer. Well, until next time, take care of you guys. Have a good one.